What is going on, everybody? This is another fabulous episode of 4GQ TV. And today, yes, I'm still playing the same Biomutant clips, but that will change. Thinking about doing more of like actually what we're talking about, but game-wise. But anyway, as you know, this is the panel. We're still waiting for Midway to get here, but we have a cat and a potato with us. So
I am not a cat, sir.
You may want to say hello to them. Mama Rox is here.
Hello.
PK the cat. Animated Evil.
Hi guys.
Flamish the potato.
Hello.
Infinite.
Howdy.
And myself. And Midway's about to pop in, so we will add room for him. And then I did forget to tell Mrs. Voorhees what time we do the show, so that could be my fault. So I messaged her. Hopefully she'll drop in. But
Midway said he's waiting to get in.
I added him. Says I added him. Is he coming in? I don't see him coming in. Tell him to try again.
Probably gotta click on it. You probably don't see it.
I did. I definitely clicked on it for sure.
No, I'm talking about him. You know, it disappears on
Oh,
another.
there he is.
It
He's
took
there.
a while to connect.
Did it?
Yeah, it's all right.
We won't blame my internet.
Do you hear me, Judge? Do you hear me?
No.
My assistant's trying to. I just want you to know that I'm here and I'm not a cat. That was one of the best things I've ever seen. I thought Infinite was gonna make it tonight.
No, I did. I made time. Sorry.
Who?
So
Is that a potato?
It's a potato.
he had a Tiger
Are you-
King potato, but he got rid of it.
No,
Are you saying that certain things can be run on a potato? Is that what you're trying to say?
Even Flamish can be ran on a potato.
Mom,
well, no, I'm a kick potato.
It's just oh,
They
we should all be
man.
cats. We should all be cats next stream.
You know, you think that would get some cat viewers in here?
PETA might have a problem. You're making fun of cats, sad cats.
I don't think there is a poop one, Mav. I don't think there is a poop one. Maybe a poop emoji one.
There's no Mr. Hats. Howdy ho.
Yeah, I said it looks like one of those turds Al does.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Is that a stress ball?
Yep. It's a poop emoji stress ball. Look at that.
Nice.
Now you're gonna have to go wash your hands.
Yeah, his
It's okay. It's dried. It's dried.
horse apple.
So the first thing I want to say is that you guys may notice one of the regulars is missing. Mav stepped down as a panelist. He's working on a lot of stuff on his channel. So I just want to congratulate him on how big his channel's getting and wish him much success. He's in the chat with us. He's still going to hang out with us. And Stinger's in the chat. What's up, Stinger? So the Steam Deck. I mean, everybody's seen the Steam Deck, right? It's that cool looking machine. It's only what, $399 for the base version. Everybody seen the Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the hottest news to come out today. All summer
Yeah.
long, if you ask me.
Everybody.
I
I
likes
was
the
looking
Steam
into it
Deck?
because I'm interested in it for sure. That's what I was wondering. Like, does it have a dock mode? It looks dope.
It says it does. I think I
It
read
looks as
something about it.
powerful as a Series S Zen 2 APU.
In case
Yeah,
anybody
it's like
knows, you're gonna see a
quad
smile
core.
on my face every time PK talks. I'm just saying, like, this
Why is
a
that?
cat.
What'd I do? Oh,
He's a sad
I'm not a
kitty.
cat.
Why is
I'm
he
not a
sad
cat,
kitty?
sir. I just want to say I'm here, and I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat. Can you hear me, Judge? Nah, you're awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it when
Yeah.
it's light.
All right, I posted a poll in here. Will you be getting the Steam Deck? I really am curious about this.
Man, you should be
Where's
showing it so everybody know what it looked like.
I don't have a clip of it. I could open up a browser source. Throw it above the video. I know Graphic God's gonna get on to me about this. He's like, every show you change, you go either to the imagery or you go to the stick to one. He stick to one.
Well, clowns, if you want, I can put it up as a thing and hold on. Give me a second.
You're gonna put it up as your face?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
this
goodness.
guy.
Anyways, to me, it looks like a actual finished product. I don't know if I agree with Infinite about the G-Force thing or whatever before.
What are you talking about?
The other handheld that was PC.
No, it wasn't the handheld. It was the desktop box or TV box that Alienware came out with. I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago when the Xbox One first launched to play Steam games on your TV. They had it out for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. And it was pretty decently priced for what it came with as well. But
I think things change now, man. We're in a different era. Like,
yeah, no doubt, technology everybody changes. But
I
this is
feel like
exactly
there's
what,
more cognizant people that might excite, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely more for the adults than it is for the kids. So the Switch they won't lose their foothold in any type of demographic because you're not going to buy this for your kid because you're not going to want to play the Steam games. You want them to continue playing the Nintendo games that he's used to.
How much? What is the price ranges? You said
So
there was
it's
different builds.
$399, $529, and $630. It goes 64 gigs, 256 for storage space, 64, 256, 512. But it also has an additional micro SD slot for additional storage.
Does it have?
Yeah.
So it does have expandable storage.
It does
That's
have
dope.
expandable storage, so you can get up. You technically get up to a terabyte.
That's awesome.
And between the three that they're offering, there is no difference in terms of technical power. The processing that's all the same. It's just storage. They're going with that Apple. They're going with that Apple type branding.
That's what's up.
But at least you can expand the storage. That's awesome because you can get up to a terabyte. I think a 56 or 512 cards go for about $700, right, or $70, and I think a terabyte one is about $200 for the fast SD cards.
You know, that's so dope because right now, so since it's so hard to get a PC, you could probably get this, and then since it has a USB-C input, it looks like, is that the charge? Or can you plug it up to your TV that way?
I believe I read it's going to be able to put up to your TV.
Man, that is a seller right there. That's dope.
What,
Have your whole Steam catalog and a $600 PC, bro.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, they didn't really talk about like remote playing with this thing or streaming from your library.
It's obviously going to have an
like that, right?
Android-based operating system, so I wouldn't see why it wouldn't eventually be able to get sideloaded anyways.
Well, that would make it a seller for me, for someone that doesn't really have like a great PC. You know, like if I was able to like get these games on Steam and then just have it in my library and then just take it with me, that'd be a seller for me.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
what kind of screen did it come with?
I think it's just a 720, right?
It said 1280 by 800, which is basically a 720. Yeah.
Which isn't bad for the screen size. I mean, it doesn't really. How much are you going to see more on an OLED screen?
It's an OLED
like
screen
the smaller
too,
the
right?
screen, it really doesn't matter.
I know it's not an OLED screen. No, it's an LED.
Is that-
LCD.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
an
IPC?
LCD screen.
Yep. No, it's not an OLED.
So
No,
the,
But for
Right.
its price point, it's not bad. And you don't
I
get
think
me
it's
wrong.
dope.
You have to save some stuff for future iterations. So 2 years from now, you'll get that OLED screen along with a more processor or more cores or something or higher.
what is Zen 3 APU or something?
Yeah, and maybe more RDNA cores. I think this one only has 2. I think the S has 8, but this one's at a faster rate. I think the cores for there like 1.2 for this S, and it's 3 point something for these ones. So Pretty
Well,
equivalent.
that's fine. That's just for processing. So at the end of the day, the fact that it can run those games is dope, right?
Yeah, it'll be able to launch. Tomorrow's game that comes out will be able to run on that. There's no doubt about it.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's
Battlefield 6 will be playable on it. There's no doubt about it.
So
what you're saying is we have got a Switch Pro then, right?
This is you know what? I'd like to know how this went under the radar for so long before nothing got leaked out of it.
I seen it, but I didn't know it
No
was
4K,
real.
no 4K yet animated.
I didn't know if it was real.
It's only 800p. Do remember?
I've
It's
seen
only
the
in the-
personalized ones that they had for the PC handhelds, but they were upwards to $1,000 and they weren't very, very strong.
This
Performance
might be
wise.
a good pickup for me. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. This excites me. Take my Steam on the go, and it's a dedicated hardware, which is what I really like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, does it have Bluetooth connectivity? They said you'll be able to hook your controller up to it. So that's why if you do hook it up to your TV, you can play on a regular controller and not do playing with the handheld while it's hooked up to your TV.
You know,
I mean,
it is
they're-
it's like a perfect PC in your hands. For right now, I think it's here's the thing, right? Here's what scares me about these things. They're great when they're brand new, but then eventually they become outdated. And my biggest fear is like a year from now, we'll still be able to play like the latest games at what it could have a year ago. You
Come
think
on,
there's gonna be
clowns.
problems with that?
No, it's very true.
Well,
People are
that's why
still using 980s, right?
Yeah, that's a hidden issue, right? I mean, not everybody's gonna fall into
Well,
that same category.
that's why I asked about the streaming and the remote playing, because that's what Microsoft wants
makes
to do with
yeah.
with their Xbox One Fats. Like, they're saying that you could play these up-to-date games even on that just through streaming. So I mean, that's why I asked if it's going to do that.
Does it have a browser or?
Who knows?
I think we're going
They said
into
it's
speculation.
they said it's the Steam OS operating system. So
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to have the store, obviously. So I don't know if it's going to be like based off of a certain a browser, like Google Chrome or something. I'm not.
I don't think
not
so.
sure.
It looks like dedicated chip hardware. They wouldn't have went with Zen 2 APU if that's the case. But it's probably like how Amazon does their OS on the Fire Sticks, where you only have options to their store unless you modify it or whatnot.
Yeah, Asante says that Steam has its own browser, so it'll most likely have its own browser on there.
Which is dope.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mav's
Now-
also
now,
Mav's
what's the
also
difference
saying in the
between-
chat that you can do everything you can do on a PC as well. So if you do have
That's
a
what they
browser,
said,
and you
yeah.
can do that,
Well-
and if it's running on Android, you can get most of your PC apps on there. I'm sure.
Pong says you can load
Well-
any OS on it. I don't read anything about that though.
Well, the thing is, if it's running on ARM, right? According to how we're talking, then it probably doesn't use as many resources than a typical PC would. So it wouldn't need as much power to run a lot of these games and be just as well, right?
So
Because on our PCs we got a whole bunch of crap running.
Absolutely right.
PK, what I'm reading here is that the Steam Deck is running Proton, which is an adaptive version of Linux that can play Windows and Linux games.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And
Okay.
And FreeSync is now is going to make it possible for them to upscale, right?
Yeah, I suppose that
Hopefully.
makes sense. Yeah.
So
I mean, they
so that
definitely
means the
built this more
games-
focused. They definitely built this more focused on frame rate than resolution. So you'll still be having at least your 60. So
Yeah, and with the lower resolution, you probably go higher than 60 because
Yeah,
you
most
don't
likely.
have that overhead.
And to be honest, everyone talks about that 4K screen. I mean, on a screen that small, it
You're
really,
not gonna see
to me,
it.
it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel like much
You're
of a
not
difference anyway. It's just,
Yeah, you're not gonna see it because only time you can see those pixels is on a big
A
screen.
large screen, yeah. That's why a lot
Yeah.
of 4Ks don't come under 43 inches. You know,
Yeah, it'd be a waste. So
yeah.
Well,
that's true.
while the Tiger Potato has stolen a Steam Deck OS and the cat is talking, I looked up some of the specs, and Windows Central really has the specs. It says that it's Steam OS 3.0 Arch based, and if you know what Arch is,
Archbase, yes.
Arch is a Linux. Arch
Mhm.
is a Linux OS, but it doesn't really say.
Ponk
A
said they
lot?
confirmed you can do any OS on it.
Well,
I'm sure you could siloed it, but you'd see. I don't know though. They might have it locked down to the chip. You might have to like JTAG it to put
I don't
another
know.
OS.
Ponk says they confirmed you'll be allowed
you
to
can
put
probably
any OS
flash
you want.
you can flash anything out, but I just wanted to know, like, when I look at it, I'm thinking about, since it's small, it's not using many resources, using Linux as its base OS, so that opens up the possibilities. Think about it. We just got through mentioning how AMD is partnered with Google and Samsung to put their Zen 2 APUs in them. So it might be a thing where,
Did they give a
they're
release
making
date? With supply
for
chain
that.
issues, I don't know how this is going to be possible within the next year. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know, buddy. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody feel concerned about the controller stick button placement? Does anybody feel? And I guess it's got some sort of like mousy touchpad underneath them or something.
You talking about the
Did
digital
anybody-
pad?
Yeah.
Digital
Anybody?
pad, yeah, but if you can do Bluetooth, we can just use Xbox controllers.
Yeah, I do want to say my picture is flipped. So normally it's the sticks on the like the D-pad is on the left side and the other stuff is on the right
No,
side.
it's showing up.
No,
right.
it's
You're good.
it's good
Oh,
on
it's
us.
showing
It's
it.
good on us.
Yeah, it's only on Zoom. Okay, but yeah, for me, I would say it's closer together. I do like that. I do not know, does it have like a touchscreen capability, like the two little pads under the sticks? Is that like touchscreen? Because that's something that I'm still thinking about.
Yeah, Fun says that they did a breakdown on IGN.
Yeah,
complete
I was about to
breakdown.
say that. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
Valve
KS out that says you can
Valve
even
have
plug in
done
a
a
monitor, keyboard, and mouse and use it as a full PC.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
Valve
I'm
have
seeing that
already done
now,
a
yeah.
breakdown. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you'll
Okay,
be able
I
to.
gotta stop the discussion. Flamish, are you moving the potato or is it moving as you're talking like a natural?
No, it's when I move my head.
Because it's like going
So
back and
you
forth,
are
like talking like a-
dancing. Now, can you sing? Can you also sing for us? Can you perform?
I couldn't hold my tongue anymore.
You don't want to perform? No.
I guess not. Yeah, no.
I have no idea. What should I perform? I'm King Potato, you know?
Is there any songs about potatoes?
Hot potato.
Peaches,
Hot potato, yeah.
Peaches?
or you could do hot potato. Can you jump?
Small potatoes, small potatoes, small.
No, I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay, I'm done.
I don't know songs.
This is very. I'm gonna say this is very bizarre. This is
It's amusing.
It's very amusing.
Well, it's entertainment. I'm Flemish.
Yeah, I want
The
to thank
entertainment.
Flamish
You
and
got me
PK for
entertained.
brightening my night. Thank you so much.
Yeah. The most impressive thing is I'm managing to keep a straight face.
I
Yeah.
can't.
No.
Well, we didn't. Yeah, okay. It's
so. What did the chat say? 60% of the chat said they're not going to be getting the Steam Deck.
That's cool. It might not be for them, but
You know, it'd be awesome if you can get Game Pass on that.
No.
That would be the seller
I
for me.
I voted no,
If,
and
if it,
I'll
it
tell you
has
why.
Any browser you
If-
can put on it.
Yeah,
I voted no, and I'll tell you why. I'm not a PC guy anyway, so I don't have a Steam library.
I don't either. I don't either.
This for me would be an expenditure and more games to buy. So I don't think it's for me personally. I can see exactly why it's going to be great for people who have a PC at home and have an extensive library like Infinite does behind him on all his arcade machines. I mean, you're good. You don't need to leave the house. You're fine. But yeah, fun speculation in the chat says I can play Game Pass on it. But I can do that now on my phone. I can do that now on a tablet. So why would I want to buy more games?
For me
Well,
personally,
actually-
just to add to that, just to put a little fork in that debate, animated. I would love to have a dedicated travel piece. I don't want to use my phone for everything. The phones, for me, like when I first got my first like really touchscreen phone, I said I only want this for calls and texts. Now it's slowly starting to become like a social media device and all that stuff. But there's only so much battery you can use it for me. So it's like I would rather have something dedicated for playing or for something to travel with instead of just being on my phone the whole time.
And
whenever I go
also,
That's
anywhere,
just me. That's
my
That's a
Switch
good
comes
point.
with me. Whenever I go anywhere, my Switch comes, even with Xbox Cloud. Now,
I-
if there was
Hence the
If you implement
Galaxy
the
Tab here
cloud,
for me.
I'd probably do it.
also want to say there's a lot of Steam gamers, and having Steam library everywhere you go is a massive improvement over what a phone can do. Because a phone you can play Game Pass, but any game that comes out, right? You can play this on your phone. You can play this on this device, which is on Steam. Almost every game comes out on Steam, right?
And I completely agree with what you just said. What I was saying was, for me, who doesn't have a Steam library whatsoever, it wouldn't tempt me into buying one just so I could have PC games on the go. That was
And
my
that's-
only point.
And that's a fair point.
Yeah. That's
It's not for everybody, right? It's
No,
for
absolutely.
people with the use case.
Yeah,
And,
like Mike said, Mav said, selling point is the hard drive. You don't have to be stuck being cloud-based gaming. You just download your game and play it on the go. That's why I have a Switch. Airplanes rides, perfect. Can't deny the Switch's capability on that.
I mean, bottom line, there's more possibilities and uses for this than a Switch would.
Well,
except
absolutely.
except for getting the Nintendo games, in my opinion. Like everything else, like because this is a PC, if they say you can do any browser, could you get like a Windows 10 browser on there? Like and then start playing Game Pass games? Who knows? So
Well,
I
see,
mean,
this
it's just,
is. Go ahead,
ahead.
finish. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was pretty much done.
I just wanted to say this is good because maybe this is the competition that Nintendo needs to push them in the direction of and striving a little harder to keep that base entailed, right?
Absolutely.
I agree with that as
couldn't
well.
agree with that. I
Maybe
couldn't agree with that
Yeah.
more. That
maybe
will
they'll
push,
start
that will push
pushing
Nintendo's
for more
innovation.
third-party games now.
And with competition equals
Awesome
innovation.
point.
So
Awesome
price
point.
price is it's price, it's power.
Capability, etc. Right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at is like this is probably a good thing if it catches on and it does well because then Nintendo will finally have a threat in their space.
I think
And-
that's perfect because like with remember when the Switch first started, they were getting some third party with Skyrim and stuff like that, probably to start pushing early adoption with that, but then they kind of tailed off on that. So maybe this will start pushing them to start making more relationships and more deals to compete. So yeah,
Right.
this is good for everyone.
I still think Nintendo has its own stuff because they're Nintendo. They have their exclusive games that you can buy nowhere else. So I will have some competition, but I still think the Switch will be on top.
Well, it's not about being on top there, Flemish. It's just about threatening. I mean, think about any space when someone's on top so long, they start getting stagnant because they don't need to do anything, right?
And
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say real quick to combat Flamish's point. Sony's on top. They have their exclusives, but they're still making third-party exclusive deals, and that's because they have a platform in Microsoft that is still competing and pushing them forward. So that's the only thing, the problem I would have with that Nintendo line of thinking.
Now, even if
Like Lance.
Nintendo stays on top, if this catches on and it does well, Steam has way more games.
Well,
The
see,
point
I
is,
Way
think
more.
I gotta say something though. I think, in my opinion, right, and I could be completely wrong, but this is my opinion. I think that I honestly don't think Nintendo would be motivated by this. I think that this is more for those that are really into Steam and want to play Steam games on the go. I don't think Nintendo will see this as competition, because I still think Nintendo's going to print money with their OLED anyway, regardless. Anything Nintendo puts out, it prints money.
right?
Because there's
100.
tons of Nintendo fans, right? And this Steam Deck is a little bit out of the scope, I think, of the most of the Nintendo niche. So I think that what's going to happen with this is that it's going to be popular more for console players that want to play Steam games on the go, because you could play, Game Pass. You can put other OSs on it. I did look it up. Hung is right. You could put Windows 10 on it. So there's opportunity there to turn this into more like what people have always wanted for Xbox, or even PS Now or something like that, because there's PS Now apps, there's PS Remote apps. So you could probably put that on that and still play that on the local network, and it would probably look good on this thing, to be honest. It's a pretty good handheld powered device. So I think it's going to stay in its own lane. Now, the only thing I'm not sure of is how many people are actually going to upgrade it for the price that it's selling at. I mean, it's reasonable for what it's selling at when it comes out, right? But you got to think about over time, like a year or 2 years from now, is it still going to be worth that $3.99 that you paid for it if you could play Game Pass and PS Remote games on your cell phones or on other pocket Android devices that are cheaply made, that are abundant out there, like on AliExpress, like the Retroid Pocket 2. I didn't say anything. So that's the question. I'm just really curious. And then on top of that, if you could put Windows 10 on this, right? Does that mean that Microsoft is going to support patching this thing properly, like a normal PC? Like, these are questions that I have.
You see, with it being a Steam device, you've got to ask the question: what were when there were meetings between Gabe Newell and Phil Spencer? What were they talking about? Was it this? Because we were all thinking, "Oh, Game Pass to Steam." You've got to think, what were they? I mean, they had meetings with Jeff Keighley and things like that. What were they talking about? We don't know, do we?
No.
Gabe Newell did say in an interview, when he was questioned, is Steam coming to other devices? He said, you will see later this year. Was he referencing this device? It's a fair question, I suppose.
It is. No, it's a fair question. And another thing too, I mean, I'm gonna say this because I'm always honest with this kind of stuff.
I want to just go ahead. Go ahead.
Give me one second, PK. So I think that this will also be popular with the modding crowd, and I say that because you could put other OSs on it, which means that you could probably put Kali Linux on this thing. And if you could put Kali Linux on this thing and it's got a good Wi-Fi device, people are going to be war driving with this, like at their work and other places, or in the parking lot of their work. So I mean, honestly, that's just my opinion, and I think we'll see something on YouTube with all these hack channels out there, Linus and everything else. I think we're going to see alternate uses for this device.
Honestly, in my opinion, this device will do great for certain demographic, not for everyone, like Animated Evil. But yeah, it's great. Just not the device. People have more choice. That's all I want, right? More choice.
Options, right? Absolutely, options.
Options.
Yeah.
Take it from potato.
So I don't think Windows 10 would be a good fit, especially if it's an ARM. But however, Windows 11 was designed to work on both architectures, and
I
it's a
don't
lot
think it's
smaller.
ARM.
I don't think it's
Mm.
ARM.
It says it's a Zen AMD
But
APU.
is it the x86 architecture? Because you remember they're making a ARM version that's going into the Google and Samsung versions of their phone.
Doesn't have Ethernet.
If
Kayasani
it's running ARM,
says
it's not gonna be able to run Windows. So if it can't be ARM, right?
no. Windows can run on ARM. There's modified versions. Kay Asante says it's a Zen 2 APU x86.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Is that the answer you're looking for, PK?
Yep.
I would also say like the 64 gigabytes seems very low if you look at Steam games in general, especially the high ones.
You
I think I
got
saw
expandable
somewhere that
memory,
you
dude.
can buy.
Yeah, expandable memory,
on,
but I would say like if you look at the price for expandable memory these days, I would actually go for the high version because it also has a faster SSD. It has the NVMe instead of a normal other type storage it's using.
I mean, that's fair.
That's the last thing I want to say about it.
Mama, you have any thoughts on this?
and I just think it's really cool that you can have like a handheld PC, essentially. Like that's what a lot of people have been wanting for a while, right?
Well,
Yeah,
remember they first
I mean,
they
they've got
they
the cloud.
yeah they first tried that Steam box, which was a failure.
Oh,
That's what I was
I
saying.
don't remember that.
They came out with the Steam box. It was fairly good for what it was, and the price point I thought was great. But maybe Steam wasn't very important 5-6 years ago as it is today.
Yeah.
I also the problem with the Steam box, there were so many different ones that people were so confused what they actually need to have, like what Steam box, because there were so many different ones that came out at the same time from all these different companies that people got very confused.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was multiple
Well,
Steam boxes.
5-6 years ago, Play Anywhere just started, so I think as soon as Xbox games became more PCs available, I think it started to bring more attention to Steam, which then there you go. Now we got this Steam Deck. So
But wasn't a Steam box? What was that Alienware TV desktop, whatever you want to call it, set that they had? That had Steam on it. Is that the Steam box that was made by Alienware?
Yeah, it was just the Steam box made by Alienware.
Okay, that's what it was. I wasn't sure if it was those would do the same thing or not. I want to make sure.
They called
I
it
didn't call it a
Steam
Steam box.
Machine. They called it Steam Machine. That's what they called it.
just had to rhyme, huh? And I'm saying yes to that.
Yes.
I'm saying yes to that poll, clowns.
Oh, are you? So that he stays at a potato?
Stay
I'll
a
put
potato.
yes.
Hold on. I just want to look at something real quick because I know this has got to be more powerful than obviously.
3 minutes. I'll wait 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people have been running in chat that this device
Are you,
is
are you
about
trying to
as
compare the Steam Deck to the Switch right now, clowns?
Yeah, but I think it's
way
obviously
more powerful than the
Yeah,
Switch.
it's way more powerful.
Yeah,
and it's
but-
got a
There's no
dock mode too.
there's no comparison there.
Wait, it
It's
has
more,
a dock mode?
Yeah.
Is it gonna
It's
have
more
a
on-
dock?
It's more on
ca-
par with the Series S than anything.
Oh,
The Series S is gonna have.
yeah,
You
that's what I was
know,
about to
but
say. Yeah.
if it came down to this device solely used for the xCloud, I would probably buy the Series S, buy that screen that they're coming out with for $150, call it a day. For as small as the Series S is, not gonna take much room in my butt bag, and with that screen, I would rather go that way.
I would
Than
like
pick up a small device like this.
What
So,
if
but
you,
that's a me issue because my Steam library isn't large.
Infinite,
okay.
what if you got that That
And if with X Cloud,
Kickstarter,
I'd have to be. That's what I was talking about. That Kickstarter screen is what I'd put on the S for $130 more. So for the price point of $430, I'd rather just get the Series S. Buy the screen, take that with me wherever I'm going. There's plenty of room on a plane for that Series S.
yeah.
At that price point, that's what I would do. But that's a me problem because my Steam library isn't large.
But then you've got to think about power, because obviously the power in a Series S needs a home plug. This is a mobile device. There's the difference.
Yeah, but there's plenty of storage. There's plenty of power options when it comes to battery banks.
Yeah, fair enough. But how long is a Series S going to last on a battery?
Well, my Surface Pro lasts about 5 hours on a 25,000 mAh battery pack.
Okay.
I mean, that's plenty of time for a plane ride, and there's plenty of spots to plug your stuff in at the airport.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if you want to
I
plug
mean,
it into
that's
your
a me
device,
issue.
then-
That's not that might not be capable for others. And I don't know if any of you
know
guys,
what
but
I hear?
my
You know
car
what I
has
hear?
plugs in it, so
I'm
hear
with
it.
you. I'm with
they
you.
can
I'm
plug
just
it in the
wondering.
Jeep. And they can use those
Just
on
a
the
question,
lot.
yeah. Just a question, because I was just
You know-
wondering. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
know
I
what I
didn't think
hear?
it's
You know what I
happening.
hear?
I'm
I
just
hear
saying that's a me issue.
options. I hear
Options, exactly. Options.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Options. Exactly it. No doubt.
Options are always good. I'm probably, if I do get this, it's probably going to be more for the modding side of it and seeing how far I could push it. Because at the end of the day, this could be like this is like a portable Wii, a portable Wii U. It's like everything that you could possibly want in a device. So I think I'd be pushing it to the limits. So before we move on, anybody else, any last comments on this? The Steam Deck? Are we silent, Potato?
Yeah,
No.
No.
Oh, sorry. Potato in the ground, no, okay. So what the last thing I want to say is going to be more accessible than the Switches in my from all types of games and stuff that comes out, that you can play way more on this device and with your existing library. Because when you buy a game on Switch, it stays on the Switch itself. It doesn't go with the next one, right? It stays on the particular Switch. In this one, you can take it. If this breaks, you buy a new one. You have the same library like you had before. So I just feel this is better accessible device.
So you brought up a good point. So unlike the Switch, we don't know if you could bring your games forward. Versus the Steam, you will always have access to them, regardless of the hardware.
That is a very good point, Flemish.
Thank you.
But if it does break, I wouldn't want to spend another $399.
I know you better have a warranty on that bad boy.
Yeah, but say you accidentally let it drop.
Ain't no accidentally. You better have a warranty on that bad boy, just like you would your phones. Now I know Clown's phone costs more than this thing, and he better have a warranty on his.
I remember still when I had a PSP, the first PSP that came out, and it dropped one time on the concrete and it broke. Like the screen was cracked. And I had it
So it dropped by itself, Flemish. Is that what you're saying?
He's a potato. He's got no hands.
I literally can't take you too seriously right now.
I took it in my mouth, I need to spring hop everywhere. Yeah, okay. Awkward.
You put it in your mouth.
No. I tripped at that point, but I was like 16, 14, 15, no, 18, something. I don't know. Something like that. I was young.
You drop it again, you're gonna become fries.
Oh,
come on, guys. There was like no laughs whatsoever on that.
We have a big word called Netflix that appeared on our screen. It's moving around.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, let me go ahead and turn off these other sources here. So, have you guys heard that Netflix wants to get into gaming now?
Yeah, they're trying to compete with Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Prime has it on all their TVs and all their. You can download a game and play a game all day long. Probably gonna be the same series of games, like mobile type based, but nonetheless, they gotta venture and compete somehow, right?
Well,
It's an
think about
option.
this. They never had a. It's never you never could buy anything from Netflix, right? So maybe it's more than just mobile. Maybe they see this as a segue or an adaptation, right?
Isn't everything though? Everything's gonna lead to something
Kinda.
else.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't think they want to be left behind.
Yeah, they have to stay
Yeah.
competitive.
Well,
Their
yeah,
debt
I
is
mean,
ridiculous. Every time by AT&T, look at Netflix's debt.
Amazon is offering more for less. I mean, if you want, what's the price now for the 4K package on Netflix? It's like 15, 16 bucks now or something. I
Same
got
for Netflix,
the,
isn't it?
I got the standard. No, I'm talking about Netflix.
Okay.
I got the standard HD package and I'm paying for almost $14 now. Isn't Amazon Prime and if you have Prime, you can play some Luna, it's just I think Amazon's being a little
Yeah,
more
Prime is $12 a month if you don't buy the yearly package, if I'm not mistaken.
right. So it's just
I
I
pay
think
a
they're
year,
being a
but
little more
Luna doesn't come with it. It's a separate.
you're
Yeah, Luna's
low
additional
PK.
$5 a month. Well, currently is anyways. $5.99 if I'm not mistaken.
And you
Is
gotta
it
subscribe to
$5.99?
each.
Yeah, it's
And you
$5.99
gotta
for Luna.
subscribe to each channel separately.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was garbage. I got super
So
excited when I got in, and I was like, "Yeah, this is dumb." They had
hypothetically, go ahead, Infinite.
they had a few games on there you could play, but wasn't very much.
Hypothetically, Netflix creates their gaming, category. Are you comfortable with paying $19.99 a month? Like, cause it's gonna go up if they add gaming to this.
I
Well-
already pay $19.99 a month.
I think it would be optional.
Okay,
don't
so
you?
Yeah, it will be optional, just
we'll
like
find
Prime
out.
says.
Again, this is all speculative, and stuff like that, but I just don't think they'll I don't know. They have a kids thing, they have a kids section, so maybe you're right, they'll have a gaming section. But I see it being more of a premium price for everything over what Amazon offers.
What I want to say is, if you look at Netflix already, they have some interactive series where you can actually choose, like the Minecraft,
Yeah, I see them.
the Minecraft game that came out. That was like a Telltale story,
A
right?
story mode.
Yeah, the story
it's
mode.
called?
They have
Yeah.
the interactivity of the story mode as a game. I have the feeling that they want to do something more like how they do on the Prime, that you have like a separate thing on Netflix. You pay for on the side, right? Oh, you can pay it and not Netflix, like you just have like Prime, right? And that they have like these perks that you have, like how they do it on Xbox, how they do it on Prime. I don't think there's anything else like that at the moment. But that's also what I'm seeing, that they want to go for more of that the gaming audience. And do the perk system and stuff, because the perk system is actually really brilliant. Having all these free games and having these packs that come out that you can add to your account and stuff. And if you stop Prime, you don't have access anymore, right, to those skins and stuff, or am I wrong in that?
Yeah, that's right. If you stop Prime, I believe that's the case.
Well, so maybe they want to go in that route. I'm not entirely sure, of course. This is speculation. So, but I think this should be a nice competition for Prime. Not in the beginning, but maybe later on. Like if they get some traction with that, could become interesting.
Yeah,
I love
Apple,
competition.
Apple's already doing it on theirs too. I mean, they already have their service, and they're already doing their own game service as well on Apple.
Well, they
So-
got to do it right. I mean, Stadia. I mean, so far there's no like information on like who they're going to be partnering with, or if they've created anything, or any developing teams, or stuff like that. It just says that they hired a former EA exec and a Facebook exec to foresee all of this going on. So I mean, I think for them to succeed, they're gonna have to be heavily third party. Then because it's and maybe their deal with Sony. Don't they have a deal with Sony with their movies? Maybe they'll see if they can bring something
I don't see we're going to
over
see
to
any
them.
games
That,
different than
again,
we already see the
speculative.
games that are on Prime as their their arcade section. We're not talking about Luna. We're talking about just the ones they offer on Prime already.
Well, so the article alludes to the fact that they, like you said, Midway, that they hired video game executive Mike Verdu from Facebook, where he was vice president of augmented reality and virtual reality content. And his prior years, he worked at gaming companies like Electronic Arts, Kabam, Zynga, Atari, dating all the way back to the 1990s. Based on that news alone, Netflix shares rose 2% in extended trading on Wednesday. So Netflix is very ambitious into getting into this kind of area. And I don't know if, they're just going to do the basic kind of streaming stuff like Stadia and Luna, or if they're actually going to try to get into a little bit of Facebook's business with virtual reality. Now, the question is, what kind of third-party deals are they going to get? Which companies are they going to sign? Are they going to ever start studios up or try to buy a studio? That's all to be determined. Their last venture was a mobile-based game on Stranger Things, following the announcement for that game for consoles and PCs.
I played a little bit of
So-
that Stranger Things game. It was not. It was
Yeah, they
alright.
just
It was
did.
nice.
They're doing lots of compilations too. They did that thing with Smite as well. I mean,
Yes.
they're always pushing Stranger Things as some kind of extra than just to show that it was.
Yeah.
It's actually-
Master Clown says interactive movies. That's a good point, because interactive movies are they're starting to make a comeback. People miss like the old kind of stuff, but with technology like Netflix has and the kind of IPs that Netflix has, it's the perfect opportunity for something like that to come out.
Did anybody play Late Shift when it was on Game Pass?
Oh, I love that game. Yep.
Like
can't
I
say
could
that I
see
did.
if they do something like that, I would be very interested in doing it. Like I actually enjoy those types, like where you actually have a real life, live action, basically video game where you can make a couple choices here and there.
Yeah.
They used to have them
I
back,
agree. Yeah.
back in the early
Yeah, that'd
90s,
be-
mid 90s. They had them on Laserdisc and DVDs when they first came out. Do the
Yeah,
Police
I mean,
Quest ones on them.
If they do that, I'd be interested in doing that. That'd be fine. I mean, but I mean, obviously this is streaming, right? I mean, they're not gonna be like download. Do you think it's gonna be download or streaming? That'll be interesting, or both.
I think they'll leave you both because you can already download a lot of stuff on Netflix and keep it on the side. As long as you connect to your account every 30 days, they're available. So
Okay.
I wouldn't see
What-
why the games wouldn't have the same
What I was
ability.
going to remind everybody of is if am I muted? Am I good? No,
You're good.
No, you're
I'm
good.
muted.
You good?
Yep. Sorry, I had a microphone problem a minute ago. The thing is that they're coming into a market that's saturated with massive games right now, massive with game development and studios and everything, and people that own games. I mean, look at Google. They started their own studios, had to shut them down because they couldn't entice developers over. Netflix are coming in blind, whereas you've got the likes of Sony, Steam, Microsoft already with their big, massive consumer base already. What are they going to bring in to say, play over here?
Well, they already still the largest streaming company in the world, dude. So they already have an install base. It's all about
Yeah, they're install base is large.
Streaming, yes. Streaming, yes. But
That's
gaming's
my
different.
point. That's my point. So it's all about advertising
Okay.
and marketing. So all they got to do is show something good, and that'll be just enough.
And
Yeah.
that's the
Casual.
problem, right? I mean, we don't know what. I mean, if it's VR or AR type stuff, like I'm out. You know, like if they do those games like Late Shift, I'd be a little more interested. And I don't see if they create their own development teams, well, you're gonna have years till you see a game from them, unless it's just gonna be, you know, some small development time. So it won't be, you know, as I don't, dare say AAA game, but like, they they are going to have to rely heavily on third party stuff if they do want to be serious in this avenue.
And then I have to ask then, if it's all about advertising, how many people have Netflix got? A hell of a lot, 160 million. How many people use Google? A hell of a lot more, billions. And they're saying they've closed their first party. And I'm just saying it might not be
Yeah,
all that.
duly noted. Duly noted. Absolutely.
I mean, they got a challenge. I mean, it's
Yeah,
we're not.
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have a challenge, and obviously, us as podcasters and tech people, we'll give it a shot once it starts.
Yeah, I don't think Netflix isn't thinking the same thing as well. You know, they're well aware of the scene and how bad they did and what they need to do differently. I guarantee it.
I mean, they've probably been in the background, like looking at all the mistakes that have been made from
Absolutely.
other people that are just trying to get into this, Stadia. So I mean, it's just we'll see what's
Bless you.
we'll see what's.
And
Thank you.
and again,
you.
don't
frog in my throat.
don't Netflix use Amazon service to stream anyway. So won't those guys get a cut of whatever they do stream? Because I'm sure they use the Amazon's streaming services rather than Microsoft's. So because the Netflix certainly don't have their own cloud and infrastructure. So
Well, just because you use the infrastructure don't mean they get a cut of your business sales. You're just paying them a service fee.
Yeah, it's like a rental.
Yeah, they're just using their servers. They're not really using anything else in terms of anything. Yeah.
Your cat eyes are starting to look very.
Oh.
Yeah, a little creepy there, buddy.
It
little
looks like a
demonic
pet
there.
cemetery.
A cat with him cute to demonic.
Never
Real
gonna
quick.
stop.
And
Are
Flamish's potato looks like something that was on Angry Orange. Gee.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it's angry. It's annoying orange.
Oh yeah, annoying. Yeah.
Hey
course you would know
clowns!
that-
Hey clowns! Hey
Clowns,
clowns!
kids, clowns.
Yeah.
So, okay, so with this Netflix thing, right?
Yeah.
I have some thoughts. Now,
Okay.
one, obviously, I don't think they can just jack up everybody's subscriptions. I think it would have to be a separate service. However, I do think that they will offer people that want in on the service a bundled subscription, a subsidized price a little bit, and maybe not too much off, but a few bucks off. Now, there's one problem with Netflix that we all have seen, and it's the fact that sometimes Netflix in the US has the license to show certain shows, whereas in the UK, they can't see those shows. They get different shows than us. And we've seen the rotation with games or with shows like Friends, especially, that's rotated from Sweden to UK to the US, all at different times. So, are they going to secure a license right for their games, or are they going to have problems at all different times with their licenses? I don't know. I just hope Netflix is really on top of this and doesn't run into that same problem. But I would really like to see stuff like Disenchanted and other stuff that's on Netflix. I mean, Big Mouth is a hysterical cartoon. There's content that Netflix has that they could really turn into something. And I just hope it's not quick, cheap, flash-looking style games. I really hope that they go in to this with the idea of making it compete with, a Game Pass or something. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be as great as Game Pass, not off the bat. I mean, they're years behind. But I want something better than Stadia and better than what we get with Luna. especially from a company like Netflix.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, I'm looking at Amazon Prime at the moment, right? There's like 42 items we can get. All these free games they have like codes for and stuff. If they don't do something like this with the gaming space and all these games that you can just claim and download, it's not going to be attractive. And Prime is also good. A lot of things like you have Amazon Prime that's connected to it, so you can order stuff as well with Prime, right? Because it's included, right? Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, so that's one thing. Second, I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
That's
mean, there's
okay.
more
You are a
options with
potato.
Amazon.
I'm a
So-
potato.
There's not much compute power in a potato.
Mama,
I don't think
Yeah.
late shift could run on a potato.
No, I don't think so. I think some Tetris could.
Maybe a clock. Maybe a clock.
Maybe a clock. So, I was just thinking this, right? And there are some good points that were made in the chat, and forgive me, somebody did say it. Somebody said that Netflix is using Amazon servers, but there's something that Netflix has the potential to do, and they could do it very well, extremely well. Facebook tried to do Facebook gaming, and some people are successful on it, although it's still not as big as some other platforms. I mean, it's getting up there. But Netflix could do their own type of streaming service where,
Yep.
Streamers could sign up and it's right on the Netflix dashboard or Netflix category. And with everybody logging into Netflix every night to watch a show or something, that would be a huge potential for Netflix. And Amazon with Twitch has done that movie sharing thing, whereas if you have Amazon Prime, you could do watch parties together with your audience if they also have Amazon Prime. So I'm thinking with Netflix, if they did something like that, dude, that would be astonishing. That would blow that would blow Twitch out of the water. I mean, they're the next potential competition, and I think Twitch needs competition. There's Facebook and Twitch. Really, the other services they don't really get that much. Gleamish is trying to start out, but it's hard. There's Odyssey, which is not very well known. So I really want to see some competition because competition makes everything better. Anybody have thoughts on that?
There's another one, Trovo. Is it Trovo? I've seen
Yeah,
a few
Trovo.
people, streaming on Trovo.
If
That's
that's like the one thing I always think of is like, you say, you want to see all these other streaming platforms succeed, but if they want to succeed, they got to get the get rich quick or instant gratification out of their minds. I feel like that's what kind of spells doom for all these streaming services when you try and like the first year nothing happens, okay, we're dumping it. Like I feel like you gotta hang in there a lot longer because I mean Twitch with all of its problems is still, one of the more popular services, and it's right now it's because everybody knows of Twitch. Like you just mentioned, I think 3 other services that I didn't even know existed. Like there's got to be some sort of um patience and certain chances, I mean start advertising and start popping up you know these ads that will start getting your name out there, because I feel like not really many do that. I mean, the only reason I know about Facebook gaming is because I'm on Facebook. Like I don't see anything. It was funny, like I finally like popped on like, and it was like Ronda Rousey's on Facebook gaming. I'm like okay, like awesome, like and that was right after the mixer went down. So I mean it was like, was that a thing before before Mixer went down. Like I didn't even know, and I'm on Facebook. I don't know anything. So it's like you got to start advertising and you got to start being patient with these services, or else they're just gonna fail. They're gonna keep failing, and that's all I got to say on that.
Mom, I have a question. Do you have Netflix?
I do.
If you sign into Netflix one day
Mhm.
and you saw like a whole category of people streaming like BioWare, would you check it out?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd still check it out. Mind you, I don't go on Twitch as much as what I used to. Like I used to be on Twitch quite a bit, but I used to be on Mixer more. Because
Do you mean watching or
well, I streamed on
streaming?
Mixer,
Yeah, okay.
and then I moved over to Twitch once Mixer went down. But Mixer always had a more of a community feel than what Twitch did.
Agreed.
So I think that's missing from somewhere.
Infinite.
Maybe it was. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Midway. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, when it comes to like streaming, I feel like I can personally only see like maybe 2 or 3 streaming, domains really succeed. I feel like after that it just feels like an oversaturation.
Yeah.
Which is different than like gaming, especially now with streaming and online capabilities. It just feels like there would be too many, like, well, there's like 5 or 6. I think only 3 could probably sustain, if they want to succeed. And it's kind of sad, especially Twitch set the bar, I mean, and now everybody wants that million subs, everyone wants that 2 million
Yeah.
subs, and until gaming is more popular than streaming in a way, because nobody wants to be on camera. Not everyone wants to be on camera. So I think it's just, I think there just be too much, like, okay, I like these games, well, let me go here. No, everyone wants to go to one spot and see all the people that are doing it and just try them out and see which ones they like. So I mean, that's a fear, that's a possibility that, maybe with all these streaming services taken on, with Netflix being the name and possibly doing the streaming thing, like, you never know. Like I would put that up in the air because it's Netflix and they're more popular than the other, what was it? What'd you say the streaming services were, Mama?
Trovo. You got
Never heard of
Trovo,
it.
you've got Facebook Gaming, and what I can't remember the other one. Clowns
Reemish is the newest one.
Reemish.
And
I've
never heard of
of
that. So so I mean, like I said, they just gotta be patient. They gotta be patient and just hopefully they find someone that will get at least 10,000 right now, and then see if it builds on to 20,000 and see if it, and then just be patient.
I do think it's a lot to do with like the names that are on that platform too. Because I don't know if you remember when Mixer was starting up, I can't remember who they bought from Twitch.
Ninja.
That was towards the end.
Was that towards
Shroud.
the end?
That was towards the end. Ninja and Shroud.
Ninja and
yeah.
Shroud, yeah. And Shroud
Was
was
the
the,
end.
the other
Yeah.
big one.
To bring people over.
Yeah. So, but now Mixer's gone. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, there's people that stream on Facebook Gaming, but I don't think Facebook Gaming's at that Mixer level yet.
I think
Yeah, I have no inclination of ever wanting to go to Facebook Gaming anyway.
No, I mean,
Like I just don't.
yeah, I don't use Facebook, so I do it once a year to say thank you for my birthday wishes. That's it. That is it.
Make your yearly appearance.
Yeah, that's
Everyone.
it. Once a year to say thank you for my birthday wishes. Now,
See you next
off you
year.
pop. See you next year. Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it's like a rebranding. You're rebranding your platform. It's kind of like that. It's Facebook is a social media platform, and now all of a sudden you're seeing all these little, if you look on top, you're seeing all these little categories, and I never thought gaming was going to be one of them. And so it's hard, I think, to break away, especially with Facebook and their problems. So I mean, Netflix is known as a movie and television streaming service. So I mean, they just gotta if they gotta advertise it and kind of like rebrand their whole mission statement. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry,
just-
but the potato has the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. The last thing I want to say, like, Clowns, you were saying earlier about licensing with the different movies in different countries. I was just on Prime, right? I subbed and I was looking at the different movies, and one of them is not available to me, and that's Lucifer season 5. I cannot even see that. So I hope it's not gonna be the same with Netflix. Like, you advertise all these shows, and then some of the shows are like, oh no, your country can see it.
It sounds like you need a move, Flemish.
But personally, I think that will be like that because there's different licensing laws in most countries. I mean, there's games that are banned in one country that are not in the other, or there's a game rated R in one country that's not in another. So that with Netflix would probably happen, I believe, like Clowns alluded to. If I want to play with a friend in Brazil, oh, sorry, I haven't got that game. I can't stream it. I mean, it's going to happen with a streaming service, I believe.
Just change your Xbox.
Or at least a constant. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, we can't condone that kind of thing.
We'll see.
But you know, my God, like, exactly. If something's banned in Flamish's country, I can't play with him in a game if it's streaming together, because guess what? His country doesn't have that game, so that's the problem with the whole streaming sort of infrastructure. And I do think Netflix may have a problem there. I'm sure they've got a workaround. I hope they've got a workaround, and I hope they do something brilliant. Like you said, like we've all said, competition is king.
Yes, but competition makes everything better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but that has nothing to do with competition in the first place. I think the licensing, different things, like even with games, right? There are certain games I just can't play. But yeah, let's go to the next topic.
You don't like this topic anymore, Flemish? You're sad because you found out you can't watch Lucifer.
Sad potato.
Yeah, I wanted to see next season. It's not available. It's like
he's not very ripe anymore, is he?
So he's sad, right?
He's now become a cold potato.
Yeah, he's a very cold. Yeah, he's cold and cruel potato. Well, there's something that I wanted to touch on, and I put it in the DMs. And I think this is a pretty important topic. PK, did you have anything to say on Netflix before we move on?
No, I think I covered everything I wanted to say about it.
Okay, your cat eyes are starting to come back, so it doesn't.
They're so cute.
Look
They all
scary.
looked to the side when he said it. He was like, "I think I'm all done."
Yes, I just.
Can you hear me, Judge?
No,
I'm gonna try to.
Judge, I just want to say I'm not a cat.
I am not a cat.
So, are you a furry?
No, I'm just sad.
Okay. Just had to check. So there's something that I want to touch on that I think is important, and that it's that in a recent interview, actually Phil mentioned quite a few things, but one of the things is video game preservation, right? And he has taken it very serious with Xbox, and we see that with backwards compatibility, making sure games can play going forward on newer hardware, which is a great way to handle it. Like Xbox is doing it the right way. But there's a lot of other companies that do it the wrong way. And I'm sorry, PK, this is one of your favorite companies. It is called Nintendo. and they do it terribly. Terribly. They're notorious for rehashing the same editions next gen constantly and then changing slight things in them, raising the price to full price, and then going after anybody who has a backup of, let's say, like a Famicom or NES game from like 20 years ago. Like, they'll go after you just for having it, because they don't want you to play it. But it can't be played anywhere else. Like, the game is retired, it's delicensed, it's, people that probably made it are no longer around, or the musicians you can't even get the license for. So I think there is a serious problem in the game industry, and Xbox and PlayStation are the only two that's kind of taking it serious. PlayStation not as well as Xbox, right? Because they're doing it through PS Now, and it just doesn't feel the same as the way that Xbox is doing it.
Well, let's be honest, okay? I did a video actually going in on Nintendo for their Mario Sunshine and 64 remastered, and try to make it only available for 6 months, trying to uh, create some sort of demand for these games. But they all do
What
it. Sony does it too, and PS Now is not game preservation, because you don't get to download and own anything. You're streaming them and they're rotated out. And all I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, for stream game preservation, yes, that is dumb important. We should be able to take our stuff forward with us. I am stating right now, I can list 10 games that has been delisted, and a lot of them were on the Xbox 360 that did not get to come forward, that I bought on the arcade store. I don't know if you guys remember that. But I got The Simpsons, X-Men, Turtles 1 and 2, um, it, all of the final fights, etc. Cannot get those to move forward. And
You
so,
own them digitally?
well, arcade was digitally. Most
Yes, what I mean. Yeah, you own them as a digital download, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to clear that up. Carry on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I want to make sure that if I paid for them, I should be able to take them with me going
Yep.
forward, even if I'm, uh, on the same platform. That's kind of how Steam works, right? That's what makes it attractive, is because, once you get it licensed to your account, I mean, you can re-download it as many times you want. And for me, that is important, and I think that is something that definitely not only needs to be talked about, but needs to have a movement to push that effort forward.
Yeah, and it is, even if they remove it from the store on Steam, you still have the game. Like, you don't lose it at all. What with Sony they did, like, they removed a certain game from the store and it's gone forever. No one can download it anymore. No one can play it anymore.
Now,
Yeah.
we know Phil Spencer likes certain games and he doesn't like other games. And for him to say about game preservation, it's going to have to be about games that he doesn't like as well. And one game in particular that I think should have been one of the first OG games to be digitally available, and one of my favorites growing up when I got the original Xbox, was Brute Force. That game should be playable. That game was really fun. I really liked the game. I know that I hear people saying, it's overrated and all that stuff, but not to me. So and probably not to millions of others. So if he really believes that game preservation should be a thing, then he should be able to uh, have to do these games that he doesn't like as well. Because I remember in an interview when someone brought up Brute Force, he kind of like, no, we're not doing Brute Force. Like, so I mean, it's that's the one game that I want to see. And I really hope that, and Nintendo, like you said, Clowns, has a bit of a stigma with game preservation, but so does Sony. I mean, they cut their PS3 services really early when the PS4 was was out. So I mean, everyone's talking about bringing back Resistance Fall of Man. Well, those games should be downloadable and all, and everything, and I don't see anyone talking about playing those games. I don't see anybody talking about playing PS3 games. I don't see anybody talking about uh you know wanting those games to be back in their stores and all that because PlayStation doesn't want to. They don't want to. They want to remaster. They want to, bring all these games in a different way that will make them money instead of people just staying behind and wanting to play old games. So, yeah,
I
I mean,
agree. I agree. I agree with you.
I'm all, thank you. I'm all for, what Phil Spencer said, but it's got to be 100%.
Facts.
And I
See-
hope, go ahead.
The sticky point comes in with licensing, doesn't it?
Right.
Yes.
Because it comes from music, it comes from images, who's in the game, it comes from a whole lot of things, whether the developers still are around, and it's about how much money that is going to be put on for a said game. I would love every old game to come. I'm sure Phil Spencer would love every older game to come back, but it's all to do with that one word, licensing, and whether they can license that game or not to come right now without being sued or bothered about what they're displaying. Therein lies the issue. That's the sticky point.
You're probably right, because let me tell you something. The greatest Transformer games ever created was Fall of Cybertron and War of Cybertron. And both of those are delisted right now. I still have the physical disc, but my 360 don't work anymore, so I'm stuck. I can't play these games, and I love them to death. I would love to have those back in the store, and I will definitely buy them digital, and I would love to play them all over again. Not to mention some of the old, like was Master Clown mentioned, some of the OG Xbox games. The very first Xbox Live game. I missed that. What happened to MechAssault? How come this hasn't been brought back? This is Microsoft's wheelhouse. This is their thing. Don't they own Mech Warrior? I mean, come on, man. Let's do this. What about the stuff they do own that they haven't brought back? Let's get past get past the license, because if they own it, they can easily bring it back, right?
And
So,
therein lies the problem. You cannot get past that license clause within a contract. It's just it's impossible, because once that contract's been signed, that license clause is there. If you only own the license for 3 years, you can't bring it back 7 years later. It's impossible. And I don't know what those licensing issues are, whether it is music, visuals, game name, cat face, whatever. We don't know what it is, and that's the problem. It's a virtual impossibility to bring every old game back.
Microsoft
Sad
should.
face. Sad face.
I understand, Forza Horizon 3 is not downloadable right now on the Xbox store. I was
why is
looking
that?
for it. It could be licensing,
delisted.
right?
It's music licensing, yes. They lost the music. They lost the music license. So what they had to do, they had to give that game away for free. So you cannot purchase it anymore. And that license expired because of the music within the game.
Was there now remember? Was there also not some licensing problems with Forza Horizon 4, where you have like the 2 DLCs that you can't buy anymore?
Not sure, mate. Not sure on Forza.
Well, Horizon 4 is still, it's probably still within that window of licensing contracts. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Flemish. Let me just say this one thought, because
Okay, no problem.
if Microsoft has been extremely transparent with a lot of things on Twitter and publicly, which we all praise them for. And I know this is kind of a business side to gaming when it comes to licensing, but for a game like Brute Force, which was a only on Xbox game, and I would like to see, or I would like to hear reasons why certain games can't be brought back, especially in their original form, which with brute force, I don't care if it's remastered or not. So it's just, I would like to see why, or I'd like to know why, right? I mean, we'd all like an answer to why certain games can't be brought over, which would be nice to hear, I
But-
mean, it's instead of us, moaning and complaining and, probably talking about stuff that we're not privy to and we have no really base on uh facts or anything like that. We're just all speculating. But I mean, it'd be nice to know, like, why can't that game be brought over? Why can't this game be brought over?
So
And like you just had the answer for Forza 3. Well, why can't you do that for everything else? So go ahead.
the thing is, for brute force, that's the game you want to hear about. What about the many other thousands that they can't secure these licenses for? Because there is hundreds or
I would like
thousands.
to hear about them too.
Well,
I'm
For
sure.
me-
I'm sure, but that's like someone going, "We can't do this because of this. We can't do this because of this. We can't do this because of this." And what Microsoft have been doing, they're saying we can do this. We can. They're not saying we can't.
Yeah,
do
they're
this.
focusing on the positives. They're focused on the
Exactly.
positive.
So that's one game for one person. I'm playing devil's advocate right now. I understand your plight, and I'll
Yeah.
have a look why you can't get it. But why would they say, "Oh, sorry, we can't do this. We can't do this," because they want to. That's not a great marketing tool for any company to say, "I'm sorry, we've tried, we failed. However, you can do this." That's not something that's going to happen. They're going to say, "You can have this, you can have this, you can have this." They're never going to tell you, "Guess what? Sorry, dude, you can't have this." They're never going to do that.
Then we will keep talking like this negatively about them until
no,
they give us the answer.
no, Midway. No, but I think, honestly, right? Okay, so I think that the licensing is the big issue here, and I think the chat has made very good points. Master Clown and Jesse B. Some of the issues are it's just licensing, right? So that's why when it comes to Nintendo's first party IPs, um, we would hope that they would archive those, right? But sometimes they just let them die. But then you got third party games that were on Nintendo, and there's licenses that prevent them from being archived. And going back to what the original topic was about, it was about, how Phil has done an excellent job of archiving games and trying to get the industry to see it as the same way. We see, and that's the problem, is that it just feels like that Xbox is the only one that's working hard to get this done properly. Whereas, PlayStation has the ability to properly archive their games and get them moving in the right direction and make them backwards compatible or playable if they really wanted to do that. They have the ability to do it. Nintendo has the ability to do it, right? And it's just like Xbox is the only one that's making that effort. And I just it makes me really sad, because coming from growing up with retro games and playing arcade games and arcade titles, I wish that these games could be archived forever, right? I wish that I could play the Simpsons arcade game. I wish that I could play X-Men the arcade game. But the license issues is with, part of it has to do with Konami, I heard, and the other part has to do with the music in those games. And this is just where I wish that companies would be like, here's all this money. Let's archive every single game in history. Let's create a proper, front end emulator where people can download the emulator and pay proper license fees to play our games. But man, it's going to be such a hard move. And there were issues with even there's a site called archive.org that's well known for preserving history, and they've actually had court battles over preserving some stuff, and they had to get rid of some stuff. So I mean, I do think that Phil's doing a great job, and we should focus on what we can get. You know, there are games that a lot of people want to see, and we're probably never gonna get to see them. Like what Midway's saying, and I get it, man. But it's not the fault of any corporation in particular. There's probably like 10,000 different people involved, or different companies, or ASCAP, or music rights, or RIAA, or licensing rights, or maybe there's 5 different composers. And we've interviewed composers on the show, so we know what it's like to hear them talk about legalities and licensing the tracks. So we've heard it
It's all their
firsthand
fault.
from. I mean, it could be. It could
There's
be.
also the thing, like if a company doesn't exist anymore, it's been taken over to another company. It's like, can they get
Yeah.
back all the licensing from that? Because there's this one game that I was rooting for a long time, is Dark Alliance from Baldur's Gate. That game, I'm so glad it came out like a few months ago, but I've been waiting for the game for a long time. I'm still waiting on the second one, which is my favorite one. I actually never played the first one. So that's a game I want to see. Like, where's the second game? And yeah, it's just because the company died. They were taken over by Wizard of the Coast, which is the giant company with the TGC from Magic Gathering. So yeah, it's like I even messaged them and to actually listen, like hear if they have anything that they can do about it, or they couldn't answer it at all. Like they have no clue at all. So it's complicated in most cases. Like, and they already said some time ago, like they're trying the best they can, but most of the games they already done that they could do, and there's not much games left, or none at all almost. So yeah, it's hard. And I just
Hey,
hope it
clowns.
gets there.
Yeah, clowns. Let's just take a moment to thank Original Next Level Gaming for becoming a member.
Absolutely.
of the
Thank you,
channel.
Stinger.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Fellow
Thank
Respect, sir. Respect, sir.
Yep, he's Gamers United Guild, so thank you
Master
very much
Clowns,
for
you
that.
re-upped, and so did Flemish as well.
Yep,
Yes.
and Master Clown. Yep.
We appreciate all your support, guys. We really do.
So here's a topic I want to get into. And I'm kind of curious how this is going to work out, right? And I'm thinking ahead. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. And this is the issue, is that Discord has purchased a company working on AI tools to detect harassment online. Now I'm thinking ahead to the fact that Discord and Sony have a sort of partnership coming up where you're supposed to be able to cross chat with PS Chat and Discord, if I remember correctly. But how is this all going to work now with this Discord AI abuse and harassment system? Because, I mean, let's face it, there has been problematic chats before on PlayStation. Thank you, Cerebral Paul, for joining the support tier. It's greatly appreciated, brother. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm just thinking about this, right? Like, so is this automatically going to cut off people on the PS5 chat? Is it going to disconnect the Discord chat? I mean, it's just interesting that Discord is getting so big to the point where they want to buy AI anti-harassment tools. Any thoughts on this, guys?
Yeah,
even Mr. Potato Chip, man.
I'm going to go in straight away and say I don't think this is going to go over to PlayStation. I think this is going to be just for the help in moderation within Discord, because there's so many channels, there's so many chat, there's it's millions going on. I think they're going to try and automate moderation within Discord itself first. It might pop over to PlayStation and ease out that way. I'm sure that Xbox will eventually join with their chat. They will. It's a no-brainer. But if you go into some of the Discord chats, it's like, oh my god, look at what you're saying. I think there was an instance you discussed last week when I wasn't on about GameStop, that they had to shut it down because they
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
moderate. Yeah,
They've got their Discord now.
yeah. So because they've opened Discord and they couldn't moderate, I think it's something to do with automated moderation first and foremost. And that's just one example.
It's about time.
Well,
To
actually,
be honest.
like when you look at the moderation tools, there are different bots already that you can use, but it's not. I would not say it's accessible enough at the moment that it's actually an inbuilt system. It's always like a third party at the moment. Like it would be
Yep.
great if you have an inbuilt system where you can actually just run in the background without actually doing anything, which you always have to do right now. Takes a lot of effort to actually set everything up if you really want to go in depth and have everything neat and that everything goes smoothly. There are always kinks. So I think this is a good idea, and also because it has over 150 million users, it's an insane amount. So having more moderation is always good, especially with profanity and all that stuff, and other types of people that go on Discord.
I think I read earlier when looking at the topic, I found something that it's actually the moderations relying on employees and volunteers. Now,
Correct.
they've got a choice: employ 1 million more employees, or get some sort of development tool that will do it automatically. And these
It's
big
probably gonna
companies
flag
that are,
words.
yeah. So these big companies that do have all these millions are always going to go with, let's automate this shit, baby. That's what they're going to do, and that's what I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think it's gonna flag words, and I feel like if anybody has a problem with this, then you're probably saying what you shouldn't be saying on your chat.
Yep.
Uh,
Auto
you're
reporting,
probably
that
yeah,
kind
you're
of thing.
probably
Yep.
part of the problem. But yeah, I mean, you hear all the stories from all the podcasters about the mouths that some of these kids have, like, like kiss your mother with that mouth, So I mean, I'm
Yeah.
all for it. I mean, yeah, like you said, they'll probably have bots to flag down like certain words and certain things like that. Then maybe the human element will check it out and flag if necessary. So I mean, I'm all for it, and I think with Microsoft's side, I think it's going to be kind of like I wouldn't say trial and error, but definitely a viewing process between Sony and Microsoft. Sony's going to see how Discord handles it, and then Microsoft is going to see how those two, since they have that partnership, how they're going to handle it. And if Microsoft likes what they see, they'll probably employ their own or find somebody to partner up with to relegate all of that. So I mean, I'm all for it, and I hope on for Discord's sake, it's a successful one.
I want to ask Mama Rocks what she thinks, because I know. I mean, this is a tool to help with anti-harassment and stuff. What do you think about this going into Discord?
I think it's a good idea. I think there's a lot of pressure on mods to moderate it, and sometimes it just gets completely out of hand. Like I'm on a few Discords, and like the moderators on there, they don't get paid for it, but they work damn hard at trying to keep it all. And the problem is as well is that sometimes it can't be nipped in the bud because there isn't a moderator about. And that's not their fault. They can't be on there like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So by having that's really useful for when there isn't a moderator around.
See like 2-3 chats in each podcast to have like have moderate 2 to 3 moderators, because it's just too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, so I totally agree.
Yeah, even I have a Discord channel that I'm running with some other people from Final Fantasy 14, and even there we have like 4 moderators that are checking everything, and if there's no message we're checking everything to see if everything is smoothly. If that gets cut out so we don't have to moderate that much and can spend more time doing other stuff, that would be fun.
Yeah, the perfect example is obviously chatting right now. I mean, there's a few on the panel. We're all moderators and stuff, but there's 67 people watching now. If they just started spamming the chat, it's difficult to keep up with.
It is, yeah.
Imagine that if you're in a Discord chat with 500,000 people or something less than that, 100,000 people. How can 1, 2, 3, 4 moderators even dream of coping with that amount of
Dude, they
chat
got
that's going? So
I
that's
listen to everything, but I was gonna say that they have bots. You can do auto bans
Yeah.
and
Yeah, but those
kicks
are
and
usually
all that.
keywords, they're looking
Yeah.
for. Something that's
Yeah.
valuable, like a keyword.
I
mean,
I
if you
understand.
take those words and start spelling them backwards, are they going to be flagged by those bots, or
You-
space them out or use
can,
different
yeah,
characters?
Yeah, a lot of
You can-
time they like slip through the net with them.
That's how they slip through the net. I mean, instead of spelling FUCK, you spell it FUK, and
Yeah.
then they got to update the bot to recognize that.
I understand.
Yeah, and I think that this purchase is developed just for those the spamming, the thing. It's trying to take an automatic approach to what they're paying people to do right now, and it's a positive step, I think.
How would you
Yeah,
guys
Finally.
compare
it's a
this
step in the right
to, like,
direction.
I mean, it
Any
feels like finally
thoughts?
someone's taken a step to try to like really find a way to deal with all this. I mean, I feel like no one's ever really addressed it. We talk about it all the time, and I'm sure there's a lot of news bits about it and all that stuff. But like, I feel like this is the first time that through a purchase that someone is really trying to address the problem, which is positive.
Also, a couple things I want to say, because I know we got a couple people in the chat. So hit that like button's appreciated. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, please sub to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Also, just do want to let you guys know while you're in here, in case you happen to have to go for some reason, we have some interviews coming up. Allison Packard, she's done a lot of stuff with Yokai Watch. She's been in Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart, the newest one. She has over 100 credits on IMDb. She is awesome to talk to, very nice, grounded, down to earth. We have the Blurred Girl, who will be coming on as well. So we're setting up schedules with her. She's well known in the journalistic community, Rotten Tomatoes, Sci-Fi Network, and things like that. We have Mark Brooks coming up in August. He's a fantastic Marvel artist. He is amazing. And if there's any other interviews I forgot, I'm sorry. But I'm constantly trying to get interviews for the show. And I'll announce more probably by the end of the week, or on Twitter as well. So stay tuned to Twitter and Facebook because we will announce them there. But I just want to ask the panel real quick before we all kind of like do our outros and get out of here. But what do you guys think of Discord's anti-harassment bots versus something like the way that Twitch does their moderations? Any thoughts on that?
They don't always work on Twitch either.
The problem is it could be like it has to be tweaked for sure. It's gonna have a lot of there's gotta be a lot of things that we're gonna have to look for, and how do I say this? Like the problem with Twitch like when you have the bots, right? They can be too sensitive. There can be a lot of problems. Could be a lot of hurt in the beginning. So it needs to be, it should be tested, fully tested before it gets implemented. If they just throw it out there, it's going to be problems. But overall, yeah, I'm excited. We'll see what the future brings.
I'm going to say any advancement in AI, removal of abuse from any social platform, whether it be Facebook, whatever, Discord, Twitter, any automatic bot that will remove abuse from these channels can only be a positive. So if they've got something up their sleeve, bring it out, because we all know we're all susceptible for that abuse. Every one of us. It could be anyone. Could be anyone on this panel. Could just receive it. So if we've got an automated thing that will stop that abuse, bring it on. And bring it now.
Now, now we all use Discord for private use. Is this something they're coming out because maybe they find out that more, I don't know, corporations want to use it, such as like GameStop, maybe Microsoft, they want to do their own Discord channels and want moderators without having to pay for them so they can offer this type of service?
I mean, that's not a
Becoming more
bad
mainstream?
point.
I mean, it's becoming more mainstream. It's not just just like a little personalized groups, like what Discord was originally intended for.
There's also a lot of
professionality to it.
gaming. There's also a lot of gaming companies that actually use Discord because it's one of the best communities you can have, and that everyone can talk with the devs and stuff. So it's really
But that's
great
still like
tool.
a small club. It's still a small fan base. You don't have 3,000 people jumping into a small indie devs channel, and you can havoc. Usually, if you're jumping into a Discord like that, it's because you're there for good intentions, not for mal.
Yeah.
This is where the big boys play too, so there's got to be a professionality to it. So they're probably
Exactly what I mean.
Yeah,
think-
I understand.
My thoughts exactly, yeah.
I think everybody had good points, So we'll
You
go
can
ahead
have fun
and
without swearing. You know that, right? You guys know that, right? You can have fun without swearing or saying anything about your mother. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good fun.
I mean, that is true. You don't need to swear to have a good time. And that comes from the Hulk of Chicago himself, who's got
Gains.
#gains on his shirt.
Yeah. And if we're at Discord, I put #loser.
Oh, come on. No,
And
Infinite.
I kicked my mother with this.
Picking
now.
on
Yes, I did.
Midway.
And hopefully, when it's automated, you'd get banned for such
Yeah,
things.
that's exactly it. There you go. You're absolutely right. See? There you go.
And
I'm
hopefully
actually
with that-
like harassment.
And hopefully with that loser term, Discord would have that flagged and kick you off.
At
Yeah,
least put me in a 10-minute timeout, right?
like
Go in
I
that
just
corner.
said.
Right?
Well, I will say this:
Absolutely.
Nightbot has been an automated moderating tool on Twitch for a long time, and if you don't actually set up settings in Nightbot, it can be very aggressive in the way it approaches the chat. It once put Luca in timeout for putting an emoji in the chat. So
Oh
Well,
yeah,
we
I've seen
should
that
use
before.
that eggplant emoji a little more appropriately sometimes. Right?
I've seen that
man.
before, and that's what I'm a little bit afraid of with Discord. If that's gonna happen and they don't test it properly, it's gonna have the same problems like it has with Twitch in the beginning with Nightbot. So it has to be tested for sure. But
Yeah.
besides that, it's gonna be awesome to have more moderation that we as normal individuals that just take up the mantle as a moderator don't have to put them much effort anymore into it.
Well, I mean, we're, almost an hour and 45 in. PK's cat just woke up a little bit.
Nah. You says CK. I get it. I'm
Now he's more sad.
Well, it's Cat K this time. That's just it's not PK. That's all. The C stands for cat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's what I meant to say.
Exactly what you meant to say. I heard you.
No. Flamish.
Oh,
Flamish,
No.
come on, no. Oh,
No.
man. That face rig thing on
Thank
Steam is insane. I wouldn't.
Yeah, be careful what you say around these channels. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. That's my fault. This is why we need moderation. Absolutely right.
Yeah. And hopefully Discord can automate it for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Or the
sorry.
potato over there. Potato.
Yes.
You say potato, whatever it is, right? Look like a little nut to
Tomato,
me earlier.
tomato.
Look like a peanut.
I'm
He
gonna.
does. He looks more like a peanut than
It
a
looks more
Yeah,
like a
see,
peanut.
I
Potato.
thought he was a peanut.
I thought he was a peanut originally as
Can
well.
we just go with a peanut,
Let's go with peanut.
Yeah.
please?
That's not an actual. No.
Oh my goodness!
That's a peanut.
Oh, what are
I'm
you
looking.
doing?
I'm looking for a peanut. That's a peanut.
Wow.
I'll take this one for now.
Absolutely
That's-
amazing. Absolutely.
That,
That looks like I'm.
that,
That looks like I'm
that's
seeing
Oh,
a
you
peanut
look like you
fart.
got a baby peanut on the
Yeah.
way.
At least you
That-
look excited.
Well,
That's
this is a
hilarious.
better one. This is a better one. This is the one I can find.
Wow.
Let's yeah.
PK, please just stay a cat.
Yes.
Stay a cat.
Please just stay a cat,
Professional.
PK.
Professional. Professional, guys.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Sorry, I'll say potato. People
I'm
ask
not
me
a
to-
cat, sir.
Peanut.
I am not a cat.
I'm here.
I'm sorry,
I'm
I'm
here.
sorry.
My assistant doesn't know how to just want to let you know that I'm not a cat.
He went home and yelled at his daughter that night. That poor girl got yelled at for no reason.
Shout out to the chat, man. Everyone's been great. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun
Great show.
talking these subjects. Steam Deck all the way, right, guys? So I want to go ahead and do the outros real quick, so everybody can get on with their night, and Midway can drink his Fanta, and eat his dinner if he hasn't
It's all
yet.
gone.
It's all gone. Okay.
Fanta's all gone. I covered it up. I don't know if you saw, but I covered it up.
Mama, where can we find you?
You can find me over at Season Gaming as their community manager. So I'm on their Twitter page quite a lot. Or on my Twitter, that Mama Rocks. I think that's it.
And on
Yeah.
4GQ TV. But
And,
I also
every Thursday.
every
Yeah.
Thursday. I don't know if you know this, but I gave you through TweetDeck, I was able to give you permissions. If you ever sign
Okay.
in through TweetDeck,
Was
you
there an
should be able-
email?
I think
It's
you
an
just
unofficial official announcement. That's all.
no, it's TweetDeck, and it asks users who you'd like to moderate the Twitter handle, and I
Okay.
selected your name, so it should have sent you an invite through Twitter through
I'll have a
TweetDeck.
look.
Yeah, so check that out, let me know. If not, I could redo it. And Flamish, my
Yes.
friend,
Yes.
who is a potato in Belgium, and is up at night. Yeah, I need to get a gif of water just falling down on you, like
You call it Jeff.
yeah,
GIF.
well,
Oh, come no, it's
It's a gift. Gift.
GIF.
okay, I'll go with gif.
Clown.
He sees all this peanut butter rolling around on the screen, so it's
Jif
fine.
peanut butters with a
Clown.
J.
It's like I'll be back in the jiffy.
Also,
Yeah.
chat, you can
Yeah.
clip stuff from the show now. We have the clip button. YouTube gave it to us, so you can clip stuff from the show. 81% of people want Flamish to stay as a potato. This is great. I like this.
Every week.
Yeah, I
Look
mean, I
at
Peanut.
should
shy.
do.
Look at the potato. Look shy.
So, Flamish, where can people find you?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What I want to say, you can find me on my channel Flamish. I'm taking break, however, till everything is fine with me and my surgery is done and all that stuff. So it's gonna take a few months. But I'll be here on 4GQ TV on the weekly shows when I don't feel when I do feel great. I mean, but yeah, that's it for now. And maybe on RetroRenegades on Tuesday evenings as well, sometimes.
Nice. And Animated Evil, where can people find you?
You can find me every Thursday on 4GQ TV, as long as I'm invited. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me, but I'd like to make one thank you, and one thank you only, to the guys in the chat. They have been absolutely awesome tonight. Absolutely awesome. Thank you, chat. Yeah, if you want to see what else I'm up to, you can find me on Twitter on animated_evil. And you will find out that I'm doing community game nights, other podcasts. Jump on, have a look, come and join me.
And Infinite, the man locked in an arcade basement of every man's dream. Where can
If you're
people find
gonna
you?
be stuck in somebody's basement, I hope it looks like this.
Yeah,
I might
that's
not
a
try to
nice-
escape. I might not try to escape. Catch me here on Thursdays, Thursdays obviously, and then Tuesdays on RetroRenegades at 7:00. Of course, Twitter ENIFN3T. I think it's spelled just fine. But awesome chat. I'll repeat what Animated said. Absolutely.
Yeah. Midway. Hulk of Chicago. Where can people find you?
Take the stairs. Take
Get
the
them gains.
stairs.
He is the Hulk of Chicago.
The Hulk of Chicago.
Gains.
All about the gains.
All about the gains. So thanks guys for sorry for being a little late.
Oh, it's all good, man. Don't worry about
It was
that.
awesome. Yeah, we had over 150 in the chat tonight. That was really exciting to see. I am here every Thursday. I'll say 5:30-ish Central Time. But yeah, football is starting back up, so I'm really excited about that. Shouldn't affect the time at all, just so you know. But yeah, great topics. Loved PK Kitty, and then Flemish Potato today. Definitely raised my spirits up. But everyone else, Mama Animated, Infinite. Did I miss somebody? No. But yeah, thanks guys, and see you all next week.
Awesome. Well, PK, the kitty
Sir?
cat.
Sir,
Where can people find you?
as a sad cat in court, trying to defend myself from things.
I see a tear dropping out of that eye.
Yes. Because I am sad. You see my face? I need Scooby snacks.
Scooby
Wait,
snacks.
I thought Scooby snacks were for.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Definitely for dogs.
Not they're,
See?
they're for,
You could
they're
be
for
a
P
Scooby
Kitty
snack.
I
Entertainment.
feel oppressed.
You could
I
be a
feel
Scooby
oppressed
snack.
and judged for wanting Scooby snacks because I'm a cat.
No, being a cat, you are a Scooby snack.
Yo, definitely, catch me here every Thursday with the people and the crew and hanging out at 4GQ TV. And then as we segue onto Friday, we definitely have the big G's and GRG hanging out at 9 o'clock Eastern. And definitely on Saturday, we're going to go into the den to talk some real talk and business in the Dragon's Den. So definitely come back through. And, like Clown said, we got a lot of projects coming through. And definitely stay tuned because you guys are going to be really happy and excited to see what we got coming down the pipe.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, every Thursday, 6:30 EDT or Eastern Standard Time is 4GQ TV. I'm gonna try to bring back the Tuesday show so our British friends can get on a little bit earlier. And that would be cool. Midway, if you're starting football again, I'm getting scared. So we're gonna have to do that Friday show. We're gonna have to do that Friday show. Go Philadelphia Eagles, everybody. Go Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody likes an Eagles fan. And again, don't forget, big interviews coming up, guys. I mean, some really big ones. The one in August with Mark Brooks. He is a phenomenal artist for Marvel Comics. Go check out his work, and you'll be amazed at some of the stuff that this guy just produces. And he does it day in, day out for the love of it. We've also got Allison Packard coming up. Like I mentioned, voice actress. She's famous. Has hundreds of stuff on IMDb. We got the Blurred Girl, who's a very well-known journalist and has been involved in interviews with fantastic people, such as the Disney's Little Mermaid, the upcoming live film. Thanks to PK for shouting that out to me earlier. And To let you guys know what we're trying to accomplish here is we're trying to expand into the realm of being able to interview and do screeners as well on the show so that we could get small clips or small photos that we have permission from studios to show as we review stuff. We're pending with Netflix and pending with Sony Entertainment and dozens of other companies that I probably forgotten in the last 24 hours that I applied to. Everything under Viacom, CBS, Nickelodeon, MTV, Paramount, Paramount Plus, all of them I've applied to. So that would mean that we would have an opportunity to interview more celebrities for you guys as well, which is huge. So I want to thank everybody again in this chat that's been supportive. Big shout out to Paris, who's been helping us out. He's been guiding us. He's been on some of these awesome interviews, and yeah, man, to the future, man. This, we're trying to make this thing grow big and cover the whole entertainment industry from video games to film to TV. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get skateboarders on the show like Rob Deerdick one day. I would love to do that. But thank you again to everybody. I can't thank you enough. Next Thursday, 6:30 p.m. See you guys later.
Bye.
Have fun gaming,
Yeah,
guys.
guys, be safe.
Peace.
Gains.